Hey there, YouTube family. How are you doing? I thought I'd quickly reach out to all of you guys who've really been amazing, who follow my channel and who just embarked with me on this journey of movement, of consciousness, of how to bring things together and really dive into the possibilities that life has to offer when we as humans start to embrace what we have with our body, the opportunities, the possibilities that suddenly emerge once we start to consciously interact with our body, to consciously interact with whatever possibilities we have to actually connect with other people, to connect with nature, to connect with ourselves first and foremost. Now, then 2018 is almost over, and it's been a really interesting year, I gotta say. We had a lot of interesting new updates. Many of those series will continue all the way into 2019 as well. So there is a lot more to come about body mechanics, about movement in general, about connection between the mind and the body, how all of those things are actually linked with each other. And I really wanted to shout out and thank all of you for being here on this channel. Well, some say it's not that big at the moment. I'm really happy that you guys are here and many of you seem to really appreciate it. And it's fun, it's really fun having an interaction with you. I also know there are some comments that I haven't answered yet. I promise you I will get around to do that in the next couple of days. But anyway, I'm really excited. 2019 is gonna be a very interesting year. I'm going to push YouTube even further, and there is a lot going on also in international workshops, in international retreats, me doing a couple of speeches at conferences again and stuff like that. And so I'm really excited for that. I'm going in this direction of once again working more hands-on with people as well. There is going to be a whole new opportunity and possibility map to interact with me within the next 1 or 2 weeks. And yeah, so that's something I wanted to share with you as well, because many of you really have this idea of doing something with your body on a much more conscious level, which I really like about this audience that's sort of creating itself around those sometimes new concepts or concepts that are obviously still hard to find something somewhere else. Now, another thing that I want to carry out even more in the next couple of weeks and months is really to bring even more things together. I always talk about movement. Obviously, it is something that many of us are quite concerned with. How do I move properly? How do I reduce tension? How can I improve my posture? How can I maybe even start to embark on this movement journey? And apart from the fact that obviously every single one of us started to embark on this movement journey as a child, as a baby, which is what I touched on with this developmental movement series in tiny little bits and pieces. Apart from all that, it's really this idea of how can I use my body? How can I consciously and actively interact with my body in such a way that it serves a purpose in my life? And when I say a purpose in my life, most important purpose of our body is to actually facilitate our experiences. Whatever it is we decide we want to do, we need this vessel to actually be able to interact with people, to interact with nature, to have fun enjoying a piece of chocolate or a piece of vegetable. All of those things are dependent on our working body, which is why I push this information about movement, about the body so much in the foreground. However, for me personally, movement is literally just one tiny little aspect of it all. When I focus on movement and when I start to improve movement in terms of coordination, in terms of mobility, in terms of strength, then the question is, what for? Is it just for well-being? That's awesome. Is it to maybe improve my acrobatic abilities? For some people, that's a thing. Or to become better at a certain sport. Awesome. Nice. My point here being, whenever you want to do something with movement, it's good to at least have this far out idea of where it should take you as well. And when I say that, it kind of sounds contradictory to some things that I already mentioned. Like I always say, movement for the sake of movement. And this is still 100% valid for me, and I still say that. But the point here is, movement for the sake of movement is extremely important to reconnect us with ourselves, to actually understand how our body works and how we can use this vessel, how we can use ourselves, our mind, our emotions to interact with ourselves, with our surroundings, and to become more healthy, to improve our well-being, to improve our overall emotional status, to maybe improve sexually, financially, whatever. All of those things, they are linked with us having this body and with our ability to interact with it in the world. And yet there is this other part of it where movement really intersects with how we do things in the world. And when I say how we do things in the world, I don't just mean how we move from A to B, how we steer still in butt, how we get up in the morning, or how we move doing a certain sport. Movement always has an additional factor to it, which is depending on which movement we do and which quality of movement we choose, expressional quality in this case, it changes something in our emotional state, and it also changes something in our mental state. I give you one example. If, for instance, our main focus is all the time on pushing through and doing hard work and on using our mental strength to power ourselves, to overpower every single exercise that we intend. Maybe it's we want to do 50 push-ups, maybe with additional weight or something like that. And if that's the mindset, if the mindset is I push through everything using a lot of work, and I don't focus that much on the quality of movement and how could I improve my intermuscular coordination and so on, all of the things that I always talk about. If the main focus is just on using strength, whether it's mental strength or clarity, or it's this physical strength, if the focus is always on pushing through, on focus, on with power, then we lose quality and we lose the capacity of actually relaxing as well, of actually realizing that not everything in life can be solved by powering through. That not everything in life is intended to be solved by power. But some things are actually just intended to be lived. Life sometimes requires power. Life sometimes requires strength. No question there, whether it's mental strength, emotional strength, and this capacity of ours to deal with difficult situations. Sometimes it's very important to have a certain resilience. No question there. But whenever the scale starts to tip too much to the side of we only do things with power, we only see life as struggle, then there is something that could be improved tremendously. And movement can be one tool that you can use to actually do this, to actually also change the way we use our mind, to change the way we position ourselves in regard to situations, in regard to stressful situations, in regard to challenges that we face throughout our life. Life is probably the key word in everything that I said right now. It's really important that we understand that focusing on healing or focusing on improving something always has to lead back to one very important part, which is to live and to life itself. I keep mentioning this, but I really want to put more emphasis on this connection in the near future as well. I see a lot of people out there, a lot of healers, a lot of therapists, and they focus on healing. They focus on how to improve the body. They focus on what can I do to improve someone else's life. And that's awesome. That's amazing. And I love that. And the best ones of those, the best doctors, the best therapists, allopaths, homeopaths, I don't know, the best yoga instructors, even the best spiritual teachers around the world, the best people in movement. No matter their cultural background, no matter their religious background, no matter their political background, it doesn't matter. It's always those who actually find a line back to life and who manage to translate whatever they are doing in such a way that it helps people to improve life and to start to live again, to find completely new approaches to what we call life, and to really feel alive again, most of all. So this is something that I will weave into everything that you find on my channel more and more within the next weeks, months, probably years even, because that's where it really gets interesting, and it's right at our fingertips. It's not some special, I don't know, like secret technique. No, we all do it. We just need to become conscious about when we are doing it, how we are doing it, and what are the small tools that each and every one of us can use by simply focusing on regular day movement to actually make use of this knowledge, make use of this connection that is always there. That's the real interesting thing. So in 2019, I'm gonna go forward, obviously, with my movement aspects. I'm gonna go forward with the consciousness aspects and with life on my YouTube channel here. I'm gonna be abroad. I'm gonna do a life retreat where it's all about movement, consciousness, and really this connection back to oneself and unlocking possibilities in Croatia at the beginning of June. Right after that, I'll be in Canada for the Radiant Wellcare Summit. I'm probably gonna do a retreat at the beginning of April in Sri Lanka, and there is gonna be some more workshops and retreats in summer, as well as a couple of workshops in Austria where I collaborate with a friend of mine. So it's really gonna be a very interesting year. It's also gonna be much more in the movement department, in the expression, in the performance department as well. And so, yeah, that's my plan for the next couple of weeks, months, and the next year. I'm really looking forward to interact more with you guys. I'm really looking forward to all the comments that I get and answering them, because all the questions you ask, they always challenge me. They always make me twist something in my mind and think about things sometimes in a different way than I ever thought about them before. And this is something that not just enriches you when I give you an answer, it also enriches myself in having to think about things differently. And I always like this. I always like this, having a certain curiosity through the whole thing, because curiosity is key to life. I wish you all the best. Have a wonderful time. In some parts of the world, it's already 2019. In some parts, it will be very soon. So have a wonderful time. Enjoy your life. See you in 2019. And thanks for being here. Thanks for being on this channel. And if you're new to this and this is the first video you see, well then, just click the links, check out the channel, see if all the things that you find up there about movement, consciousness, Qigong, whatever you name it, interest you. And yeah, have a wonderful time. Enjoy most of all and enjoy your body. And have a wonderful time. See you guys in 2019. I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you.